the cold bit deep. It wasn't the bone-chilling kind of cold that came from the howling wind or the relentless snow, but the cold of fading life, a creeping numbness that started at the tips of his fingers and toes and was slowly working its way inward. He lay on the shattered stone. The remnants of a once proud fortress is now his final battlefield. The blood seeping from a dozen wounds, staining the gray rock a gruesome crimson red. He stared up at the sky, a bruised purple canvas, beginning to yield to the soft glow of dawn, and he wondered, with a weariness that settled deeper than the pain, if it had all been worth it. They had once called him a hero, a savior. He wore the title like a heavy cloak, a burden as much as a blessing. He remembered the cheers, the parades, the adoration in the eyes of the people he had sworn to protect. He remembered feeling invincible, the surge of adrenaline as he faced down monsters and tyrants, dragons and demons. But those fleeting moments of glory now seemed distant, almost ethereal, like scenes from a play he'd once been a part of. He closed his eyes, and the memories came. A torrent of images, feelings, and sensations. First was happiness, the sunshine on his face as he trained in the meadows, the bond with his companions he once had, the laughter around a crackling fire after a difficult day, or maybe the shy smile of the woman he had once loved. These were the moments that had fueled him, the reasons he had first picked up his sword, the vibrant threads that wove through the tapestry of his life. But then, the pain, the sting of betrayal, the gut-wrenching loss of his closest friends, the crushing weight of failure, the unending fight against the encroaching darkness. The faces of those he couldn't save swam before his eyes, the screams echoing in the void. He could still feel the phantom ache where arrows had once pierced his flesh. The searing burn of magical fire. He borne it all. He endured. Then the suffering came. Oh, the suffering. The endless nights spent planning, the grinding, exhausting, the exhaustion of endless battles, the sacrifices made, the compromises forged, the creeping realization that every victory was a step closer to the inevitable end. A price paid in blood and tears. He had become a man of war. His hands calloused, his heart was hardened, a weapon honed by years of conflict. He opened his eyes again, fighting death, and this time the pain sharpened, the cold more insistent. He struggled to turn his head. His vision was starting to blur, and then he saw him, the last one, the creature that has hunted his nightmares, the source of so much agony, the architect of so much ruin. Its form was grotesque, a twisted parody of life, oozing malice and primal fury that had driven it to the brink of its end. It lay slumped against the crumbling wall, its body riddled with the same wounds that plagued it. With a surge of adrenaline, a final desperate flicker of defiance, he found the strength to reach for his sword. It felt heavy, alien in his grip. He clawed his way towards the creature, every movement in agony. He raised the blade, his hands shaking, his vision fading. He heard the monster make a snarl, a guttural snarl, almost a whimper. And in that moment, he knew it was over. He plunged his blade deep into the creature's heart. Final shudder, a gasp, and then silence. The air grew still, the scent of death heavy and thick. The last enemy was gone. He had done it. He had finally won. A small, almost imperceptible smile touched his lips, but it was bittersweet. He achieved his goal, but at what cost? Had all the pain, the loss, the relentless struggle been worth it? Just to end up here, broken and alone? He felt the warmth begin to fade, the grip of cold becoming absolute. He looked up at the sky, the first rays of sun painting the horizon in hues of gold and rose. It was beautiful, he thought. A beautiful world, one he had fought so hard to protect, but one he would never see again. The last of his strength ebbed away. His hands fell limp, his sword clattered into the stone. He closed his eyes, and this time, there were no memories, no pain, no fear, just a peaceful, all-encompassing darkness. He had won, but the victory belonged to them. He was just gone. Time went on. 10 years, 20, 100, even 1,000. The story of the hero was forgotten. What he did was just an urban legend. The memory was gone. The hero was gone. But still, the victory belonged to them.